Okay, so we're on YouTube, and I'm basically going to start. I know there's still a lot of people coming and they want to disturb us, but I go so slowly. I have to get a move on the right. Come in, guys. I'll just wait a while until I talk about the interpreter. So we are supposed to do if statements today, and I'll start those soon. Just a small piece of admin. I tried to add complete subtitles to last week's Friday lecture. So I've now found a way so that it only takes almost exactly 2 hours to subtitle the videos, and I'll be doing that. But only in those weeks when I speak up in constant talk. So I'm not going to be translating what I'm saying now to Afrikaans on YouTube. If you really want that, I mean, you may want that. I sometimes speak unclearly in class, and you may want to just read what I'm saying, but I'm not planning to do that. So, we're supposed to talk about if statements today, and I know you've done the massive 3 pages of reading for if statements, but I'm kind of a little behind, and I still want to tell you a little bit about Booleans from last week. So that's where we'll start. Let's just finish up Booleans. I've managed to do 1 slide per day of this Boolean lecture, and we've done this stuff. Now we're coming to make a little noise. We just take a short break. Just take a very short break. Since only 50% of students hear what I say in class, well, actually I think it's close to 90, but only 10% hear what I say, and only 10% of those remember anything I say. I don't mind if most of the class miss out, but I got an email this weekend asking me what will be in the first test on March the 3rd. And I wanted to put it up yesterday, but I haven't. So I will put it up today, the list of topics that will be in the test, as well as loads of sample questions, right? So the test topics and questions will go up on the web. So if you go here, I think at the moment it says sorry. No, it doesn't. It does nothing. Okay, but I'll put it up on this page where it does say written test and the first test. First test will be during the first hour of the tutorial. The plan was to write it down, not for G, H, and D, but I'm maybe rethinking that. We may write it here. But never mind, I'll remind you of that again and daily. So let's get back to Booleans. I was saying that last night I just finished this slide that explains that we can use these operators, not on Booleans themselves, but on integers, doubles, two quantities you want to compare. You can compare them for equality, inequality, less than equal, greater than equal, and the result, the answer, will be a Boolean. So 13 is greater than 2. This expression value is a Boolean. The Boolean is the value true because 13 is greater than 2. But if I pick 2 smaller than 2, that is not true. So that's a Boolean with the value false. Okay. So I'm going to assume everyone is in class. This is not a final commitment forever and ever, but just for today, who wants Afrikaans interpretation? So there'll be substitute 2 Afrikaans. I'll be speaking English, you'll be hearing Afrikaans. Any takers? You don't have to be shy, interpreters, they don't do this, they're going out and having coffee and chatting. No, okay. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week. Yeah, apparently this was the whole 2 years.
No, but let's say
Let's say, yeah.
2 not equals 2 is false.
2 not equal to is false.
Not the equal.
Dit moet dit moet 'n 9 my kant wees. Ek gaan dit nie nou regmaak nie, maar ek sal dit regmaak op die slide. I will fix this mistake. This is supposed to be a not equal sign. My mistake, the copy paste will be the death one. So, I can write expressions like these at the bottom here. Then they're mixing these comparison operators with other operators we already know. So B times B, that's just your minus 4.0 times A times C. The whole expression in parentheses, that's greater than or equal to 0.0. So this is an expression. It has a value. Because the main operator is comparison, the value will be either true or false, depending on the values of A and B and C. If I write that, Java will know what B, A, B, and C are. It'll plug in the values, calculate the whole expression, and finally compare the value of the left-hand side to 0.0. It's greater than or equal to, it will be true, otherwise false. The next slide. Here is a year like 1981 or 19. When were you guys born? Today is 2016. Let's say 90 years ago, it would be 96, 97. Who was born in 97? Yeah, I figured. You look like the kind of people who would be. Okay, right. So if I take the year and I mod by 100, well, actually, I said on Friday, I know this for a fact because I translated it at least 3 times, so I had to listen to my own voice at least 3 times. I had to take a long shower. But I said on Friday that if you want the last 2 digits, one way is to mod by 100. It will give us the last 2 digits of whatever number we have in front. And if that number is a year, we get the last 2 digits of the year. And if those last 2 digits are zeros, so for example, 1900, 1900, or 2000, 2000, if that's equal to 100, I know that we're dealing with the turn of a century. It's the first year of a new century. Or if you're a big pedant, it could be the last year of the century. It's not fine. Okay, is something a legal month? What does that mean? Is month greater than or equal to 1? So a comparison of month and 1. And both these things must be true. Month is less than or equal to 12. So if month contains the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 12, this will be true. And we know it's a legal month number. And if that contains false, it's not. So here's a little program that checks if something is a leap year. Now, apart from Hello World, leap years are probably some of the most important programs in computer science. Not the most important. In fact, it's not important at all. But it's definitely a program that everyone sees because it's such an excellent example for the first programming course. So the calculations for leap year are really complicated because leap years only go back a few years, a few hundred years, and then different countries adopted calendars in different times. So at some point in Europe, some countries were on the new calendar. So we formed the calendar in the 1400s, and some countries are still on the old calendar. And they switched over one by one. So in some countries it would be January, in other countries it would be February. And even in the countries where it's February, they could have different dates. And some countries like Sweden switched over for 6 days. They thought it was a disaster, and then they switched back again. Some countries only switched over to the new, what we call Julian calendar, in the 20th century. So it's a big mess when you're dealing with different countries. These are the rules in the Julian calendar for leap years. Why do we have leap years? It keeps the calendar in sync with the seasons. The equinoxes. Yeah, the equinoxes. So, we know that the rule says, everyone knows that the rule says that every 4th year is a leap year. There are more rules that say, but not if it's every 100 years. So every 4th year is a leap year, that's right, except when it's also a multiple of 100. So 1900 was not a leap year, because it's a multiple of 100. And 1800 was not a leap year, because it's a multiple, it is a multiple of 4, that's true, but it's also a multiple of 100. So 1800 was not a leap year, 1700 was not a leap year. However, 1600 was a leap year, because there's another rule that says, wait, it's also divisible by 400, then we make it a leap year again. So the rule is, if it's divisible by 400, it's a leap year, and otherwise, it has to be divisible by 4, but not by 100. So I'm writing formulas for that. I'm saying, read some year from the command line, make a Boolean variable called is leap year, it's going to be storing true or false. Then I check, is leap year is, it's divisible by 4, it leaves a remainder of 0, and I divide by 4. And it's not divisible by 100. The remainder after dividing by 100 is not 0. Not divisible by 100 is divisible by 4, and now is leap year contains either true or false. It's still not correct though, because I haven't accounted for the 400 multiples. So then I update this leap year. If I say a year is a leap year, if I've just calculated it to be 1, because all of these are valid leap years. The only problem is I'm missing out on the 400 multiples. So if this thing says true, definitely its leap year is correct. So a year is a leap year if I just calculate it to be 1, which is already true, or if it's a multiple of 400. And in this case, it's also a leap year. So in some sense, I'm adding these multiples of 400 to each leap year by ORing it to Boolean variable. I don't want to confuse you by saying that OR and addition is the same thing. But you'll learn later on that they are in some ways, in many ways. And finally, I just print my Boolean. So this program will print true or false, depending on whether the command line parameter is a leap year or not. Right here, do you have questions about Booleans? Anything you want to know about Booleans? I happen to know everything about Booleans. Okay, excellent. So we can move on to type conversion. Just quickly. We're dealing with integers, we know about doubles, we know about Booleans, we know about characters, and we know about strings. So we know 5 kinds of Java data types. 5 different kinds of boxes that we can use as variables. Sometimes we want to mix them. I want to display something on the screen, and when I call system.out.println, it expects what I give it to be, well, it can be a string, or it can be an integer, or a double, but it must be one thing. It can't be a strange hybrid of string and int, for example. So how do I make an int into a string, or a string into an int? How do I change? How do I take a variable that's in one box and put it inside another box? And the bottom line is there are 3 ways. The first way is called automatic type conversion. Can I highlight this? I never can. I always try, but it's never worked. And I have to do, I don't want to, but I'm going to. No, I don't want to, but I'm going to. Okay. Good. So the first kind of type conversion is called automatic. Java will automatically change the type of a value when it detects that it can safely do so. So for example, here, let's just take the first one. Here I'm adding a string, or concatenating rather, a string and an integer. So Java says there's no way I could convert a string to an integer. In this case I can, 1, 2, 3, 4 seems like an integer. But in some cases I can't, like hello world. That's a string, but I can't make that into an integer. So the rule is, when Yaku tries to add a string and an int, I'm going to change the int up to a string, because I can always do that. And I'm going to concatenate the two strings. So 99 is converted to the string 99, and it's concatenated with 1, 2, 3, 4, and the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. Or, if I combine, let's say, a double and an int with an operator like addition or multiplication, Java will automatically take the int, like this 11 here, and upgrade it to a double. Technically, this is an integer, 11. It's not a double, it's an int. And I'm multiplying it by 0.3. That's a double, not an int. I'm trying to multiply an int and a double. And this multiplication is really only defined for 2 integers or 2 doubles. Can't mix and match. Java will perform automatic type conversion and say, well, I can safely upgrade this int to a double without changing its value. It will still be 11. It will just be 11.0. Why? What funny flicker is that? Is it only this one, or check the connections? No, it's fine, good. A lot of flickering in this room. It will automatically change 11 to 11.0, and then I have double times double, which is safe again, and it will give me an answer which is also a double. Okay, so that's called automatic type conversion. Then there are 2 other ones that I have to do explicitly. I have to tell Java, now I want you to change this value from this type to another type. I have to be explicit about it. It won't happen automatically. And the way I do that is by adding, in parentheses, the new type I want. So, in this line there is a double 2.71828. That's a double value. For some reason, and there are many cases where it is convenient, I want to turn that into an int. Java won't do it on its own because it doesn't see any reason to. But if I put open parentheses, int, close parentheses in front of it, that's called a typecast. I'm casting a double into an int. So it will take this double and turn it into an int. Now I could have done that in many ways. You could have thrown away the decimal point and said, well, that's 271,828. But that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The only things that are, we only have 3 options, don't we? Either round up, turn this into a 3, in fact that's the closest int, or round down, always turn it into a 2, or, well, that also makes sense, there's justification for that, because the number does actually start with 2. It doesn't start with 3, so. Or the third option is to round to the closest integer. So in this case, 3 is closest, and it should round up to 3. But when I do a typecast, Java, and it's really handy, Java assumes that I'm just interested in the integer part of this double number, and it throws away any decimals. Always rounds down. Always throws away anything after the decimal point, and it goes back to 2. It goes back down to 2. What if I wanted to go to 3? Well, there's a third option. That is to say, there are some built-in library routines in Java that will help me change the type of a value from one type to another. We've already seen this. I mean, parse int, integer.parseInt. It takes a string, probably one I got from the command line, but really it could be any string. It takes a string and it sends back an int. So it takes a string 1, 2, 3 and turns it into 123. And there are other routines that does the same kind of thingamajig. Math.round. This math.round takes a double value and sends back something that's called long. So I don't want to upset you, but there are more times than we've talked about in Java. Long is just a kind of int. In fact, it's a twice as long as an int. So that's what's called a long. Sometimes it's called a long int, but Java just calls it long. And for our purposes, we can just treat it as an integer. An int. So this is a routine that takes a double and turns it into an integer. These two routines, next up in the next two lines, are entirely wrong. There's something missing on the slide. I'm going to now try to put it back. Let's just see if I can do that. Just want to, oops, quick, try to fix that slide. This is the advantage of being in class. I can fix my mistakes. Well, of course I'll be in class. Where else would I be? Oh, no, that one exists. That one works. Let's just see if that works. If it does, it will be really nice, because then the slide will be correct. In teaching theory, there's all kinds of rules. You're never supposed to, for example, take things off the screen and leave the blank, because then the students psychologically lose the knowledge of their own minds. So you can still use transparency, so you're not supposed to take the transparency off the screen. I don't know, you're supposed to slide the new knowledge in. They're all changing rules. This is probably breaking many of them. Should never have shown you wrong information. Now you've been imprinted with the wrong information, like some kind of duck that's been imprinted on you. But lots of info. Absorb! Okay, excellent. By magic, I tell you, it's back. It's back to what you want. So this is what it's supposed to say. Yes. Oh, yes. Take that stuff, round it. It'll give me a long, but I can even cast a long to an int. It doesn't hurt. So math.round will round that up to 3, because it doesn't throw away the decimals. It's not like this typecast. Math.round is a routine that actually rounds to the closest integer, or long. We'll round 2.7 up to 3. That'll be a long, but I'm casting it explicitly to an int. So it will turn the long into an int, and the answer will be 3. And this same story, round, will take 3.141. We'll round it down to 3. That'll be a long, but I'm explicitly casting it to an int, and so I get the int 3 back. Right. Here at the bottom, there are a few rules that you need to kind of bear in mind. What happened here? 11 times 0.3, we know is a double 3.3, and I'm casting it to an int. But why does it still send back a double 3.3? What's going on? Well, this typecast is very clingy, and it bonds, it attaches to the plies only to the 11. So we'll take the int 11, change that to an int, because I'm typecasting it that way. So I've got the int 11 times double 0.3, and that ends up being a double again, and I get 3.3. If I wanted to do what it looks like I wanted to do, I'd have to first do the multiplication, put that in parentheses. 11 times 0.3 is 3.3. And then I cast it to the int. So I'll take the 3.3, throw away the decimal part, I'll be left with the integer 3, which is what I get. Okay. There's one more example in the middle, but I am already behind, so I've got to hurry up. This is a beautiful program, but once again, I've only covered 2 slides of the Boolean chapter. I'll have to return to it tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever, so that I won't fall behind too badly. Because what we really want to talk about today are conditionals. So that's what this if is all about. Conditionals are absolutely fantastic. With what we have now, this is a big new chapter in your life. You don't look excited. A new chapter. Forget about your old life. With your friends, in your money, in parties, this is a new chapter. What we have now, that math library, that text IO, like system out of the print line, the primitive data types, int, double, that stuff, and assignments and declarations. I'm telling you now that your mind has been in prison all this time. This stuff is nothing more than a simple calculator. You can't do anything except calculate formulas. Yeah, sure, I mean, the values change. You can supply different values on the command line, but it's always the same old formula. The program can't behave in dynamic ways. It can't respond to what we're telling it. It'll always just calculate the formula. Today, we are going to start learning about conditionals. And then Wednesday, we're going to start learning about loops. And this will open up all of Java. Once we know conditionals and loops, you can literally write any program on Earth. I mean, of course, you need fancy graphics and sound and I don't know what else. But fundamentally, you can write any program on Earth with this stuff and conditionals and loops. Stuff at the bottom in blue and conditional loops. We will never get more powerful. So this is what we want to do. And after that, we learn about arrays, which just makes life a little easier, but doesn't add really new power. Then we do a little graphic, sound, and images because that's exciting and useful. And then we do something called functions, modules. It sounds painful, but let's not go there. And that's the end of the course. Then we're done. This is all we're going to do. Next semester, you're going to learn about objects and all kinds of very weird stuff. But today, we learn conditionals. Our programs, until now, have been like this on the left. A number of statements, all one below the other, neatly indented, but in a straight line. And when Java executes our program, it always follows the same path. It starts at the first statement, execute, 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 until it reaches the end. It never deviates. To write really interesting programs, we will need the program to behave differently under different conditions. So that it's more like this. Sometimes it checks a Boolean, and if it's false, it will go here and check another Boolean. And if this is false, it will do this statement, and perhaps carry on doing that, and eventually it will come to this statement. This path that we just followed, it never touched statement 1. In this program, we always execute statement 1. But in this program, these kinds of new programs we can write, some statements may never execute for some inputs. And other inputs, if this Boolean was true at the start, it would have just executed statement 1 and 3 and never statement 2. So we are going to learn how to make these kinds of choices in the program. How to make a choice, it's Boolean choice. Should I go left or should I go right? Okay, the statement, and this is a new statement, and I forgot to make a cheat sheet, but I will add one for Wednesday. This statement is called if. Let's just go through the syntax because it's important and you mustn't get it wrong. If starts with the keyword if, then you must put an open parentheses. You may never ever omit the open parentheses. You must put this, open bracket. And of course the matching code bracket as well. Inside the parentheses you must put, I never come here. Why don't I use the screen over? I mean, it's so safe. In case it's fire, I'll be out of here. Oh, it's because it's so far from the mic. Oh, sorry. Sorry, YouTube. Okay, I need to stay close to the mic. Oh, by the way, if you listen to Friday's video, it's just, you can barely hear me. I mean, it's just a lot of coughing. It wasn't fun. If you feel coffee, just try and sit at the back. Okay? I don't want you on my recording. Unless you're a special needs student who needs to do in front of you. Okay. So, inside this parentheses, we write a Boolean expression. Something will be either true or false. And depending on that Boolean expression, we are going to execute different sets of statements. So, we put a brace, and then a list of statements, which will execute only if this Boolean expression is true. If the Boolean expression is true, we execute these statements. And then we put a closing brace. Then an else keyword, open brace, list of statements which will only execute if the Boolean expression is false. And finally, the closing brace. So this closing brace at the bottom matches the opening brace next to the else. And the closing brace by the else matches the opening brace on the first line of the if statement. You must please put the braces. Java allows you to leave off the braces under certain circumstances, which I'm not going to tell you what they are. I don't want you to know. I don't want you to think about it. I absolutely never, ever in my entire life leave off the braces. Please put them on. I have seen situations where people forget the braces, something happens in the program, and it doesn't work. And they can never find their mistake because they just forgot to put the braces. Braces are always correct, always put the braces. One more thing, a mistake that many of you will make, especially women. I'm not being sexist. I do not understand it. There is no rational explanation. It's not derogatory in any way. But for some insane reason, the ladies love to put a semicolon at the end of the parentheses, which you must not do. I don't know why the guys don't do it. Perhaps they just don't interested in semicolons. But maybe it's got to do with lashes, eyelashes or something. Women. And some guys don't do it. There must be some kind of like cross-dressers in class. I must have come across it, but I never had. So don't put a semicolon here after the closed parentheses. It's incorrect. Your program will break. You'll cry. Lashes will come off. Really bad. What does this if statement do? It comes in here. So there were some statements before. This occurs in my list of statements. Something happened before. I come to the if. I check its Boolean condition. If it's true, I'm going to execute true statements. It's called statement T here. And if the Boolean condition is false, I'm not going to execute statement T. If this Boolean expression is false, I won't go look at T at all. I'll jump straight to statement F and execute one or more statements that's down here. All right. So I can now make choices in my program. We look at a few examples. I have an if statement that says if open parentheses x is less than 0, okay, that's negative. Close parentheses, open brace, must always put the open brace, no semicolon, all that. Inside there's one statement, x is equal to minus x. Okay, so if x is negative, I'm going to make x equal to its own negative inverse, which means it will turn positive. So that calculates the absolute value. There is, however, a small issue with this if statement. What happened to the else? Well, I can add it. It's not wrong. Just get things going here. Give me a second. Oh, that's tiny. There we go. Oh, I don't seem to have any programs around. BMI. Okay, I'll take BMI. So I want to call my program missing else. Not really important, because all I want to show you is that I can write that. There's nothing wrong with writing an empty else in an if statement. But you don't need to. If the else part is empty, Java allows you to just leave it out. So if there's nothing to do in the else part, you can leave that. Obviously, you can't leave the true part, because where would you put the if? If you think about it, it won't work that way. But here we go. So this is an if statement that checks is x negative, and if it is true, then change its sign. So it becomes positive. If x was positive before, it's still positive. If it was negative, it's now been changed to positive. So I've actually calculated the absolute value of x. After I've executed this if statement, x will contain its absolute value. Is this clear to everyone? Who finds it absolutely perfectly crystal clear? Okay? Who finds it somewhat obscure? You can't handle the truth obscure. So you mustn't be afraid to ask, but I'm going to carry on. It's very important that you understand absolutely everything I say in class. If I say something that's unclear, please stop me and ask me a question. I promise you, you're not the only one who's wondering about that. On the other hand, sometimes I found in my first year that sometimes you have to give the lecturer a little rope. Because sometimes they say something that doesn't quite make sense, and you let them go on for a while, and then it clicks. So if you don't understand, you kind of wait one slide. If you still hasn't clicked into place, ask me to go back. Ask them to go back. Of course, I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm lying to you, so what chance do you have? Right, second if statement, second example. I have an if statement that says if x is greater than y, so x is greater than y, good. Then inside the first brace, pair of braces, so let me just do this again. Not what I expected. Can I do that? Yeah, excellent. So inside the first pair of braces, my true statement is max is equal to x. So if x is the greater of x and y, then max, the maximum, is equal to x. X is the maximum, so put it in this variable maximum. Else, max becomes y. Y goes into max. Y is stored in max. Now, if you find this a little confusing because you don't know what x and y max is, this is clearly part of a larger program where I've already declared the variables x, y, and max. And on the previous slide, I had somewhere above declared x. The if statement isn't a new way of introducing new variables into our program. It's just that I'm just showing you fragments of a program. So in this diagram, I started at the top, I come to this Boolean choice, I check if x is greater than, Java checks if x is greater than y. If it is, I know that it's the maximum of x and y. So I store x in max, and I carry on after the if statement. Once I finish on the x statement, I will carry on here, so more statements. Or if x is not greater than y, I put y in max. So y will be the greater. I mean, of course, it could be that they're equal. What will happen then? Let's say x and y are equal. Is x greater than y? No, they're equal. So this is false. Java will jump to here and say, am I recording? Yes. Okay. Java won't say that, of course. No. X and y is equal. X is not greater than y, so it'll jump here to the false statements and it'll put y in max. But now max contains, let's say, 5. Y is 5, and max contains 5. But x is also 5, so that's fine. Max is still the maximum value of x and y. If they're equal, this still all works fine. I may have forgotten or neglected to mention that once the if statement is done, Java will continue executing your program here at the end. So if that's true, if the Boolean condition is true, it'll execute the true statements inside the brace, and when they're done, it'll jump to the first statement after the if. Or if x greater than y is false, it'll execute the false statements in your else part of your if, and when they're done, it'll jump to the bottom of the if. Carry on from there. For me, that's so intuitive, but I forgot that I must mention it. Okay. One more. Two more. Okay. Another if statement without an else. So we check if something is true, and if it is, we do something, else we do nothing. So here I'm asking, is x greater than y? Just that. X is the greater. So then I do these three statements we've actually seen before. Make a new variable in t, and put x in t. Then move y to x and t to y. So I've just swapped around x and y values. And when I'm done, this happens when x is greater than y. So when we're done, x will be smaller than y. But exchange the values. It used to be that x is greater than y. I swapped them, now x is smaller than y. Or if x wasn't greater than y, it was smaller than y to start with, this if statement is inside should not have executed if it is false. X is smaller than y. And I'm still in a situation where x is smaller than y. So I've now sorted two numbers, x and y. I started with x and y up here before the if. After the if executed, x is smaller than y. So then now I've sorted order. Let's do more. Let's do, amazing little program. Not amazing, it's cute. So what does it do? It's a whole program. It has only one statement inside, one if statement. Now, the if statement has two more statements inside it, but at the very highest level, this is a single statement program. It only contains this one single statement, which is an if. And it's an if that asks if this Boolean is true. So if math.random, that's a library call, is less than 0.5, I do something, and if it's not, I do something else. I can't recall exactly what I told you about math.random, but essentially, it's a random number generator. It's a dice roll. Every time we call math.random, we'll send back a new number that you can't predict. It will be somewhere from 0 to 1. It will be somewhere in the range 0 to 1. You don't know what it is. It's like rolling a dice or die. You know what a die is? Yeah, double sinking. You try Monopoly or what you guys play. Stop, we'll focus on it. Backgammon? Do you play backgammon? Do you play? No. All computers. Okay, right. So I'm rolling a die. I'm checking is the answer less than 0.5, so like the lower half. And if it is, the true statement is print on the screen heads, and the else statement is print on the screen tails. So I'm basically flipping a coin. I'm picking a random number, and if it's less than 0.5, it's heads. If it's more than 0.5, it's tails. Let's just see this in action, if I can. I hope I can. No! Okay, let's type it quickly. Copy bmi.java to flip the Java. Okay, and edit flip. Okay, this inside is not important. I want to replace it by this. Okay, right. Oh, time for some other definitions that I've neglected in the past. This is ugly code that will score 0 on a test. It's not indented. You must indent it. You indent for yourself. Because next time you look at the code, you won't understand it if it's ugly, unindented. You also indent for the other people in class who want to cheat off you, want to click your answer. They're not going to be able to read and copy your answer if it's undecent like this. You definitely indent for me, so I can mark your questions easily. But you also indent for the country. As South Africans, is our duty to indent properly. Okay? And so this will be inside there. There are many styles of indentation. Oops. One is not to delete what you've written. Okay. And there are many styles of indentation. Not everybody indents like this. Some people like doing this. They like putting the open brace in the next line. Now, of course, I don't do that. I was brought up with decent Christian These people are heretics, they must die. But if you're one of them, it's fine. As citizens, it's democracy, constitution, equality, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Of course, there are loonies. I mean, there's people who do this. I think we can agree that they are. I don't know how they live. I don't know. Anyways, here's my program. Let's compile. Okay, now let's execute. Compile faster. Come on, come. What? Oh no, forgot to. Oh no. See, this is a good teaching opportunity. Copy paste is so dangerous. Copy paste is dangerous. You will do it, I do it, everyone does it. But you have to be so careful. I just forgot to change the name of the program I copied. Oh man. Okay. Now it'll at least compile quicker. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to flip, 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 flip. How do I do this 100 times? Oh. Oh, no, oops. See if that works. Yes, okay. So there's my coin tosser. It's tossing coin. Ooh. Oh, for a second I was worried there. 3,000. Oh, 3 heads. Do 3,000. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just a coincidence. Coincidence happened. Don't play the lottery. You're just picking one out of, I don't know, 48 trillion. You're picking a random number. It's a random lot. Don't play the lottery. Well, unless you miss by 1 ticket a year and it's for fun and excitement and all that. You have a better chance of walking up to a stranger in Cape Town and guessing their telephone number from scratch than winning the lottery. It's fewer digits to pick a random stranger's telephone number than it is to pick the winning lottery number. Okay, I've got 2 more problems, but we'll do them on Wednesday and do the last part of Booleans for fuck's sake. And then we'll be done. Okay, thanks.